Now let's turn to an issue that is not very much discussed, Puerto Rico, but is very important to me as someone who was born there. Much of the national conversation around Puerto Rico has focused on hurricanes Irma and Maria. But what we'd like to focus on is two things. First, Promesa, the bill that Congress passed that instituted a federal fiscal control board of 7 unelected people to govern Puerto Rico, and 2, the $72+ billion debt. We'd like to know what led you to vote against Promesa and the fiscal control board, and are you prepared to build on that by fully canceling Puerto Rico's debt?
You know that Puerto Rico has been suffering a major depression, for many, many years before the storm. They're seeing a brain drain of young people leaving the island because there are not jobs there that can pay people a living wage. Poverty level, extraordinarily high. And in the midst of all of this economic misery, where schools are being shut down, where at the University of San Juan, tuition is going way up, which will make it harder for young people to go to college in Puerto Rico. In the midst of all of that, what Congress did is essentially strip Puerto Rico of almost any semblance of democracy by establishing, as you indicated, what they call a control board. Some call it a Junta. Exactly. All right? And what this Junta is about is essentially telling the legislature there, writing the budgets and cutting back on workers' pensions, cutting back on education, cutting back on health care, and basically stripping the people of Puerto Rico from democratic representation. So issue number one, I helped lead the effort against that because I knew exactly what would happen. And I happen to believe, maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I believe in democracy. That we elect leaders, you don't like them, throw them out, but this is a board that is uncontrollable. They are separate from the people of Puerto Rico. They do whatever they want to do, and no one can control them. That is so wrong. Second of all, you raise the issue of the massive debt that Puerto Rico is holding and cannot pay. Now, what that is about is a whole other story. And that is about these hedge funds in Wall Street who in a disgusting way are buying bonds, Puerto Rican bonds, at very low rates, and then wanting 100% payback on the dollar. So Puerto Rico has a debt, now what is it, 79 billion?
72 plus.
72 plus billion. And you got an island that is incredibly poor. It cannot pay back that debt. That's the simple fact. It cannot. So if your question is, do I think we should forgive that debt? Yes, I do.